So let's imagine you're working on a AAA game, and you are in charge of level design. You spend your time crafting a very, very well-detailed environment full of minute details and storytelling, so that the player who is playing the game can look around and get a feel for the story and become immersed in your art. And then the writing team decides, no, fuck that, it's stupid, and just decides to put a voice over everything so the player stops paying attention to your world and just kind of holds W waiting for a quest marker or more dialogue to tell them what to do. Yeah, that'd be pretty annoying, right? Well, that's video games, baby. And that's what we're talking about. We're talking about the problem with vocal protagonists. Or, more so, the problem with not letting the story speak for itself. There's a lot of sayings for this, you know. Show, don't tell. Say less. Silence is golden. There's a lot of terms used to describe this very action and this very technique used in storytelling that's very, very powerful. Environmental storytelling is very important. When you're actually paying attention to the environment of the game that you're playing, you have to focus more. You have to become immersed into that world much, much more, because you are looking around. You are gathering clues about the world that you're in. You are seeing what's happening. If the game doesn't interest you to think or slow down, you often just hold forward and then, wonder what the fuck you do. Vocal protagonists and bad writing ruin environmental storytelling. Let's look at some examples of environmental storytelling that just tell you what to do or tell you about the world without directly telling you. Half-Life 2. When you're in Ravenholm, there's a lot going on, but one of my favorite set pieces is this zombie that's cut in half by a saw blade. This gives you the idea that, oh, shit, I can use the gravity gun to do that. You pick up a saw blade and you cut a zombie in half with it. You just figured that out through the environment. In Portal, it gives you really good atmosphere. You understand, oh shit, this place isn't what it seemed to be. All the Ratman writing and just genuinely creepy, weird, schizophrenic-esque messages that are being sent to you and written upon these walls that you are traveling in really helps pull the curtain back and make you realize, oh yeah, Aperture's probably not a place I want to be anymore. It helps you feel uneasy with the world. It helps you realize, I gotta get the fuck out of here. It's really good. In Fallout, there's countless skeletons meticulously posed around the world that either, express how these people died in either very funny or melancholy and sad ways. These are always put here manually. These aren't just random skeletons. These skeletons are put here for reasons. Sometimes you'll find something funny, like a bunch of teddy bears in a bathtub with a dead guy, or you'll find something sad, like a family in shelter. That's environmental storytelling. In ODST, you walk around the streets of New Mombasa with rain and gentle jazz playing in the background. You'll slowly walk through your area and not rush through it, because you're going to be looking for these audio logs that are really well made and recorded and give you so much atmosphere that you're going to be looking for them. And when you listen to them, you're going to be walking down the streets. You're going to be hearing the cars that are blowing up in the audio log, and then you'll look around and you'll see the cars that have been destroyed. You'll see the mayhem that's happened after the fact that these were recorded. Now, Resident Evil 8. Why does Mr. Winters never shut the fuck up? Resident Evil 8 is an incredibly well-crafted game with a rich world full of environmental set pieces and interesting things to show the player, encouraging them to slow down and look and take in the world and become immersed and be a part of it. But the writing opposes this idea. The level designer's work has been mitigated due to the writers being fools.
Dead body? Wait, there's more. What did all this? Miranda! Ah! Hey! What was that?
That was Mother Miranda. He literally said that and then she killed him.
When you reach a new area in a single-player video game that's, meant to be immersive and get you connected with the world, it should immediately interest you. The player. It should beckon you to look around and take in the situation, become immersed into the world, and have a conversation with the game, with the art. But when you reach a new area and you hear, looks like a large creature was here about 15 minutes ago, judging by the wet blood. Wow, that's crazy. I should be on the lookout for a large creature in this area, probably within the next 10 minutes. But I don't know, that's just an estimate. The player is now being treated like a dumb little baby. You subconsciously stop looking at everything and trying to examine the world around you, which makes you less immersed. And now you just hold the W and wait for the game to tell you exactly what's happening, and you stop experiencing the game. You just hold forward and wait for a quest marker or a line of dialogue to tell you what to do. It becomes a chore, and not exploration, and not immersive. And when the game decides that it doesn't want to play like that, when it just says, alright, figure this out, use the environment now, you haven't been doing that for the past 20 minutes because the entire game has just been telling you for you. So then you wonder, what the fuck do I do? And then you get stuck, and then you look up a guide, and at that point, you're not even playing the fucking game anymore because the writers decided, yeah, let's fucking tell them exactly what's happening and what to do until we get to this part, and then it'll be all up to the player to figure it out for no reason, when we've already purposely made them uninterested and unimmersed into our game by just hand-holding them through it and acting like they're a baby. It really kills single-player games when that happens. Let's go back to some of our earlier examples and put some epic vocal pro tags over them. Looks like the zombie was cut by a saw blade. Looks like I can do that too. Whoa. It seems like there's someone living within the walls of Aperture. I wonder, if I keep following this guy's clues, will I be able to get out of here? Or maybe he's just insane. I wonder what I should do next. The skeleton died in a really sad way. It's almost like it was a family before the war. That baby has a really big skull.
Sure is atmospheric. What happened here? Oh, that sign. It's telling me to go this way. That's a subtle detail in the environment I just picked up on. Oh, that sign too. I better follow the signs. Sure is cold tonight 'cause of the rain. That's a jackal. Better kill it. Wow, what are those? It's some alien writing. I don't understand it. I better look out for more. Wow, that camera's watching me. I wonder...
See how that just sounds dumb in all of them? Okay, well, yeah, I'm exaggerating a bit and I'm being a little sassy with it, but still, if this is how these games are played, it would be much less memorable, as discoveries you made weren't your own. You didn't spend time thinking about the world and the story, you were just lectured about it. The game would be forgettable, just like the lectures you had in high school. When everything is told to you, you are no longer the character, but just the observer. You're no longer experiencing the game, but just watching it happen while you press buttons. Kind of like a Telltale game, but that's sort of the point. It's different, okay? So, I don't want to say that it's vocal protagonists are bad in every video game, but like video games like Half-Life and Resident Evil, Portal, Fallout, all of these things, you are meant to be immersed. You're in first person, you experience the story, you go through the world. It's different, okay? Telltale games get a pass because it's about the characters. When you're playing a game like Half-Life, it's about the world and the experience. You are the character, and that's what Resident Evil 8 was going for, what Fallout goes for, it's what Portal goes for, it's what Halo goes for, that is what a lot of these games go for. So there's a little bit of a difference there, just in case you were confused for a second. Anyway, when your character just shuts up and takes a back seat, not even speaking without player consent, it allows you to fully immerse yourself in the story and become the character in a way, to truly feel involved and connected with the story. You know, everyone says it's easy to project yourself on a silent protagonist, because that's the point. When your character is talking too much, it's hard, and you become an observer to their story instead of experiencing your own story within the game. Now, does this mean all video games that do that is bad? Well, no, because some single-player video games are about the characters rather than, you know, the world, I guess. Or some things just have a bigger focus on the characters, and that's fine. But Resident Evil 8 really wasn't. Resident Evil 8 should be just more silent. Sure, it shouldn't be Half-Life 2 levels of silent, but it should probably be more like, I don't know, Halo. Master Chief has his own personality, but it's subtle and just reeled back enough for you to still be able to project yourself onto the character and be like, yeah, I'm experiencing the story, and not, oh, I'm watching Master Chief experience the story. Mr. Chief here is just really subtle and doesn't really say a lot or do a lot without a direct player consent, and that allows you to relate to his character while he himself still has a character. Kind of like Doom Guy as well. Doomslayer has a very nuanced character, as in, you have no fucking patience. Instead of interacting with buttons, you just punch it. Instead of fucking, like, going up elevators, you just fucking climb up there. Instead of, like, pushing things for puzzles, you just fucking kick it across the room. Instead of, like, opening doors, you rip it open. Instead of, like, taking guns, you take it out of people's hands. You have no patience for anything. You just want to rip and tear. You want to fucking kill some goddamn motherfuckers. And, you know, when you're playing Doom, that's exactly what you want to do. So you are connected and immersed into the world, and you are also experiencing Doomslayer's story. But you don't really realize that Doomslayer is his own character. You just feel like you're in that world. That's what makes Doom really immersive, despite the fact that it's a very, very fast-paced first-person shooter. It's what allows Doom to have the two very good flavors of gameplay that it has. When you're exploring after you've killed everything and looking for all the secrets, taking in the environments and just looking and paying attention to everything, looking at the detail and all the time that went into modeling everything, when you're appreciating the world, that's when it works really, really well. That's why Doom Guy doesn't fucking speak ever, is so you can experience those parts and still be entertained and still feel like, yeah, this is the story, this is the world, I'm immersed, I'm having fun. And then the flavor of Doom Guy always being impatient and wanting to rip and tear really plays well into the combat, because you just want to rip and tear. You're not standing still, you're not methodical, you're running around like a fucking psychopath ripping people in half, and that's perfect. Doom Guy gets to have his own character while still being extremely immersive in both tones of combat. It's just really good. So why aren't more games like this? I don't know. Like, Metal Gear also does it. Like, most of the time, Snake doesn't talk unless, like, spoken to. Snake's not gonna enter a new room and be like, yeah, there's 3 guards over here. Maybe we should sneak around. No, you're gonna do that yourself. Snake only talks in cutscenes or when called on the what is it, codex? Whatever. Snake really only speaks when spoken to. Snake is his own character, and much more like deliberately than like Doom Guy. Doom Guy is very subtle. Master Chief is very subtle. Snake is very clearly his own character. But you can still relate to Snake, because when gameplay starts, he shuts the fuck up, and every action that Snake makes and every word that he speaks was influenced by you making him do that. You are Snake. You're playing as Snake. He's not just saying one-liners randomly for no reason. He's not just doing things without your consent. So you can fully immerse yourself into the game, even when it's in, like, a camera sequence that isn't first person. It still works, because Snake is well written. That game is well written. So when your protagonist is overly vocal and just talking all the time, it doesn't work in a lot of games that want you to slow down and have an experience with it and have a conversation with the world and the story and the environment that you're in. Now, if you want a more fast-paced game, or you just want to like be able to go through things, or you just want to tell a character story, that's fine. But environmental storytelling requires the player to slow down and pay attention. That's not going to happen when every time you enter a new area, your character tells you exactly what this area is. Or when like somebody else tells you what it is. It doesn't have to be your character. If you enter a location and you go and you get like a phone call, and it's like bring bring. Oh, by the way, Snake, if you go into this area and press the red, it's like I don't know. That will also take it out. Let players figure things out for themselves and be immersed in the world. Don't tell players what to do, let them figure it out, and the game will be more memorable. Does that make sense to everyone? I think that makes sense to everyone. You know, not doing that works in some games, but in all the examples we've given, Metal Gear, Doom, Halo, Fallout, Half-Life, Resident Evil, it should be like that, because that's the way those worlds, games, stories, and experiences are designed. And that is probably one of the weakest parts of Resident Evil 8, is that Mr. Winters is so fucking, like, weird. He's not even relatable because you as a player are not saying these weird things of dialogue. It's so strange. He's such a, like, it's so weird. I mean, okay, the thing is, I don't dislike Winters' character. I really like Ethan Winters. He's cool. I mean, he's not cool, but he's very, like, he's kind of like a dork, and I think that's endearing. I really like his character. However, it takes away so much from the game when you're having this intense moment. You just beat a boss. You're in a new area. You just fell down a fucking cave. You know where the fuck you are, and the first thing you say is, looks like you're the one that's cursed, bitch. It's like, what? Hold on. Wait, what? It just shatters the tone and is very distracting. Like, yeah, it tells us about Winter's character, and yeah, it's a little endearing because he's kind of a dork, but I don't think that's what they were going for. I think they actually just wanted him to be cool. But it takes away so much from the tone and environment that you're in, and it's annoying. It's like the only reason I wouldn't give Resident Evil a 10 out of 10. It's a really good game, except for the writing. Like, it's not even the writing, it's just the writing of your protagonist. He doesn't stop talking, and whenever he talks, it's really weird and out of place. Other than that, I really like Village. Actually, really good. So, that's my take on that. Thanks for watching.